Okay, as I was saying, this tube goes in the in your air box, in your air silencer that goes on the front, and then the other side of the balancing tubes goes into the bottom of that same air box. So if you're wondering where this one goes, that's where it goes. So it's going to be holding off on that for the time being. Okay, got my O-rings on. Got my fuel pump into place. So go ahead and get these secured in. Okay, that's handled there. Now, I'm going to put our fuel rail and install the fuel rail into our throttle body. So I'm going to try to tilt this over a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, right there should be okay. We're going to take this is a 2-cycle lubricant. XD100 is what I got in here. Oil the rings. Make sure the oil's all the way around them. And then this fuel rail will install. New O-rings, it's kind of giving me a little bit of trouble, but you just got to work them in slowly. Don't suggest using a hammer or anything on it because you're going to snap it, but they will work their way in there. Okay. Now we got our O-rings into place. And we're going to get our wedget tool back out. This one, you almost have to have one of these for this particular application. You're giving me some trouble. Okay, that's our resident disease spreader. Likes to sneeze all over everybody and cough all over everybody. Okay. Now I'll get the screws started with this. My little wedget tool here. Okay, and we got those started. Get our screwdriver and put a final torque on these. Just want them fairly snug in there. Okay, that looks good. Now we're gonna, while we're on the same side of that motor, we're gonna oil down our balancing tube rings and install those. Went in a little bit easier there, and then this tube will go into the bottom of our airbox, as I was saying before. Okay, now okay. Now we have our fuel rail balancing tube. This is the balancing tube that tied into the to our recirculating port on our lower main. Okay, got that into place. Trying not to get oil all over my motor here. Alright, got these into place. I'm all oiled up, and that went in a little friendlier than the other side did. There we go. And the same procedure on this side with our restraints. Okay, now once we finish this part of it, we're going to go ahead and cover the front of our motor back up again. Always keep our carburetor holes, venturis closed up. Keep any foreign objects from finding their way down in there. And I guess we're gonna go ahead and spin her on around here to do our port side head. Okay, now I'm gonna get off camera for a little bit, get some materials together, and get ready to put this head on, and we'll walk through that next. Okay, Evinrude fans, see you in a minute. Okay, we're back with, we're gonna put our port side head on. I've sanded this down, and I did my little crosshatch pattern like usual. This head's different than just about all the other heads for an Evinrude motor, so just keep that in mind. All the rest of them, you put a gasket sealer on, you put a gasket on, you put a gasket sealer on top of that, and you put the head down. This one is different because it doesn't use a head gasket, it uses O-rings in here. And these water ports get sealed with RTV sealant. Now, after I've sanded, because you want this surface to be very clean, I'm going to take alcohol on a cloth and get any kind of oil or grease or grime that may be remaining on the mating surface of the cylinder head here. And once we get that taken care of, then we're going to go to putting our RTV in. Now, you do not RTV this hole. This is where your thermostat seat sits, and the thermostat itself, the seat of the thermostat, seals that portion. So we're going to do just our water passages, which are here, 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 this area, and then the mirrored image of that back over here. Here we go. And this takes a little bit of time, so what I'm going to do is something like that. Actually, I usually do a little neater job. It's more like it. You want to try to keep it out of the hole, and to where it's going to spread outward. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to finish with the RTV on the rest of these holes, so you guys aren't sitting here bored watching me, and then I'll show you how we're going to put our O-rings in. Okay, we got our RTV around all of our water passages. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place our O-rings in place. And what I do with these is I take some triple guard between my fingers, and I lightly coat the O-ring with the triple guard. And what that does is holds the O-ring into position, because they will want to jump out on you. Try to keep the O-ring away from the RTV. That's kind of a tight fit, and they'll try to roll out on you. Sometimes it takes a couple of times to get her in there and get her want to stay. Okay. Okay, I might end up putting more grease on that one. If it doesn't jump out of the hole, then I'll be alright. Looks like it's going to cooperate with me. Okay, now this is a kind of a precision placement here. You don't want to put your head down and then have it move around on you. So what I do is I get ready with my nut driver and a couple of head screws, and then 1 second, I'm going to hop off camera here real quick. I got to get something else, and then we're going to put this head. Okay, we have our this is our thermostat seat that goes in. It actually goes into the head, and you'll see it's got written on the side here, 2 cylinder head. So you push this side to the cylinder head. here's our cylinder head. We've already got that all cleaned out, so we're going to put that portion toward the cylinder head. You don't use any sealer or anything. What you do want to try to do is have it seat evenly in there. It's kind of hard to press it in there, but you want to get it started evenly, and when it's started evenly, it'll go in even when you torque the head in. So if you can see that, I've got it started in there evenly. Okay, I'm going to get 2 of my head bolts. So I'm going to go with this one and that one, and I'm going to go get myself down here where I can see where the screw is going. Drop it into place. Get those 2 head bolts started. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to give this thing a good bath. Sometimes I do it before, sometimes I do it after. But see, this thing is still pretty dirty, but I'll put some old spark plugs in them holes, and we'll give this thing a good scrub down, and maybe shoot it with a little bit of paint, maybe not. We'll see how well it cleans up. But okay, 2 head screws in there. I'm gonna go ahead, get the rest of my head screws into place. Our final torque on this head is 22 foot-pounds, so we're going to go in 3 stages. We'll go 7, 7, and 7, 14, and then 22. I always like to pull things in stages. Most engine builders do the same thing. Successful engine builders, anyway. Okay, I'm gonna get all these cinched down to the to where they're making contact, and then I'll turn her back on, and I'll show you our torque sequence, which is really easy because it's numbered on this particular head. But we're gonna go in a spiraling outward pattern, like on everything else we do. So, back with you in a second. Okay, I've got all of our screws not tightened down, but just to where they're making contact, and now I'm going to go we're going to go follow our sequence in an outward spiral. We're going to go 7 pounds first. Okay, that's one. Now we're going to go to 14 pounds. 22. I go real slow, hold the very end of the wrench. Whoever decided to put the numbers on these things, gotta like that guy. Take the guesswork out of it, right? Okay, now I'm going to go back through one more time on my final torque, as always. Real slow, deliberate pull. If there's anything left in there, because sometimes after you torque a few of them down, a few of them, other ones will loosen up. And there you have it. And that's it. Now I'm going to clean this off, install our thermostat and a cap, spin it over, put the other head on, and then I'll probably go ahead and have this mounted on the midsection and do the wiring harness and the rest of it. I still got to put my recirculating lines on. I got to find those. They may have been unusable, so I might be putting new recirculating lines on it. We'll find out when I go and dig them out of there. So, Evinrude fans, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, what I've done here, I missed a little bit on the video, but put the flywheel on. Underneath the flywheel, obviously, goes your stator. There's a little hold down, goes in there. The stator has star washers on it. You just torque that down to spec, 84 pounds with the star washer. The flywheel has these 5 screws on it that hold it down, which is different than the rest of the motors, which have one big screw on the top. Clean these up real good and put that Loctite blue on there. Also, recirculating hoses is something that you want to take a note of where they go when you put them when you take it apart. They've got a section in the service manual that, and I don't suggest you do one of these without a service manual, a proper service manual, an actual Evinrude service manual, not the climber one. So we got our recirculating hoses on. Over here on this side, when you do your recirculating lines, you want to make sure that you keep them out of the way of the starter. I've got my starter attached. I'm getting ready to close this up. I got one more item to put on there, and that's the rectifier. We're going to clean this up. I use the gasket sealer on the rectifier gasket. This gasket's made of rubber, so just like on a carburetor, if you torque it down too far, the rubber will spread out and it'll lose its value in there because it's all squashed out and it's not in the right spot anymore. So torque these at about 60 pounds or inch pounds, and then the rest of this, it's just putting the cap back on the motor. Basically, I've gone over all the important parts and all the stuff that all the little tricks and stuff, which is most of the internal motor, the tricks and stuff that I use. Torquing the heads on, the way we do the reeds. That all those points that I touched on are important. a lot of that's just my own way of doing stuff. You know, I've been doing these for a long time, and following the manual is good, but I've come up with my own personal way of doing a lot of that stuff that if it makes it easier on me, it might make it harder on you, though, however. But I'm going to go ahead and conclude this series. I won't fire this motor up until I sell it, so it's not sold yet. So I'm going to go ahead and get this rectifier on, put all my plastics on, get my linkage pieces into place, all that stuff. You shouldn't, you know, there's no real tricks about it. It's just putting it back together. Put my wiring harness on, and that's it. If you have any questions or comments, let me know, and I'll see if I can help you out. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, get this finished up, get it mounted onto the midsection, and then put it up front. When we go to fire it up, I'll turn the camera on, and I'll see what happens when I fire it up. Usually, there's quite a bit of stuff to do once you fire one up, but I fired one up the other day that I had built about a year ago, and it fired up and ran perfect, which is kind of rare, but it's nice. So, okay, YouTube fans, I will talk to you at another date. See ya.